So again, the shir is L'Refuat, the Rosh Yeshiva Nosa Nota ben Rochel, and the Bacher Eitan Eliyahu ben Rivka Aliza. Hashem should send them Refuah Shlema betoch Shar Cholei Israel. So we are talking about Olam Haba. There are images in the writings of the sages as to what happens to us, whether we go to Gan Eden or we end up at the other place that seems to be very hot, but they say it's dry heat.
Oh, it's actually hot.
Well, whatever that means. It's not physical, obviously.
No, they say it's cold.
There is an option for that. There's an option for that. We will try to see what we can do for you. You have a choice. Human beings are very fickle. They need a set temperature, like, 75, 78 degrees, and that's it. A little bit too much is too hot. A little bit this is too cold. It's a bunch of Goldilocks. You know the story of Goldilocks and the three bears? So there are people, you should know, that's how they treat yeshiva. They treat yeshiva like it's a Goldilocks affair. I don't like this chavrusa. What's wrong? You noticed there was Rabbi Kaplan Stender?
I noticed.
He's in Chicago. He's not going to know.
I didn't want to disturb you.
I'm already disturbed. So, Jack, there are people who come to yeshiva and they complain that they don't like the roommate. They don't like the room. They don't like the food. They don't like the Rebbe. They don't like the class. They don't like this. They jump around from one Gemara shir to another. It's essentially they're suffering the Goldilocks syndrome. But Lamaise, a Jew needs a chair, a stander, and a Gemara. That's it. And as it said, we say in French, casse la tête. Break your head on what the text says. Get a dictionary, a Pictionary. Imagine if there was a Pictionary for Aramaic. Imagine there were children's books in Aramaic, that we could, Chad, yeah, we know this. Don't let your Yetzer Hara get the best of you and make you into a Goldilocks. B'sofo shel davar, you have a chavrusa, you have somebody to learn with, great. He comes up with crazy scenarios. But l'maisa be'emet, what you need is just a chair, a stender, and a Gemara. That's it. That's really it. Everything around it is, it's a bonus. So your beds are not that comfortable. Okay, I get it. Yeah, you're right. Some of them squeak more than others. So don't spend too much time in bed. Use it for sleeping, and that's it. You don't like your roommate? Great. Don't spend too much time in your room. We all here are from different backgrounds, different families, different things. We have different habits. Some of them are good habits, some of them are bad habits. You just have to let it go. If you want stories of how people didn't get along with a roommate, just ask Aryeh Yitzchak. He'll tell you he's got stories. Nobody called me for that shidduch. I would have killed it. Seva, ma nishma? Mazel tov, mazel tov. It's a big simcha for the yeshiva. We were waiting for this day. We just want to make sure that you wrap the deal, knock it up. Let's get this going. So Olam Haba is not a physical entity. And so he says that the Boire gradually educated the Jewish people and told us in the desert about punishments and rewards that would be immediate. And only later do we have references of a spiritual existence post-mortem. And the reason that you get Olam Haba is for two reasons. And they're very important that you should know them. He says the first one is that you get rewarded for your good actions. So that people are prepared to serve Hashem. The idea is that when you fulfill Hashem's will, when you do what He wants, for example, just a simple mitzvah, like putting on tefillin. Is that a difficult mitzvah? It's a little expensive the first time because you have to purchase a set of tefillins. Those are not cheap these days. They'll set you off a few $1,000 at least. It's about $1,000, a little bit more. No? What?
1+.
So it's a little expensive. But after that, Hilly, it's not that difficult. But there's a tremendous reward for it. Learning Torah. Is it hard?
Yeah.
What makes it hard?
Understanding what you learn.
Okay. Good. But physically hard?
It can strain in your brain.
Strain of the brain.
Strain on your brain, like you're using your brain a lot. It's like you're tired.
Wow.
Yeah.
It can be exhausting.
Could be exhausting. For 200 words of Torah.
No, if you.
When does one get exhausted? The first 5 minutes?
Second or third hour.
Okay, well, we're talking about just learning 5 minutes.
Oh no, totally.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's not. You're okay with 5 minutes. Or even that fries your brain. Yeah.
I think what's hard about learning Torah is the consistency.
Good, very good. So David is saying the challenge is consistency. That's one of the ways the Yetzer Hara gets you. The Yetzer Hara does two things. He has two modes of attacks. First mode of attack is making you think of your past. He tells you, you want to be a tzaddik, you want to learn Torah, you want to look at you. Remember where you were, running around in the streets, cow tipping, giving massages randomly in the street. And then tell them that you're a massage therapist. God, I caught myself. So that's one way that the Yetzer Hara uses to weaken you. The other is this idea of consistency. He says, you think you can keep this up? You think you can do this for the rest of your life? You want to be a tzaddik? Yeah, you can become a tzaddik for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, gag, top, a week. But after that, you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to fall. So therefore, what? Don't even start. But the idea of consistency is, I'm doing it today. What about tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but I know today that I'm going to learn. I'm going to sit and learn now. What am I going to do later? I don't know. Will I turn on YouTube and watch a movie? Maybe. Or I'll just watch Rabbi Matalon's videos, binge watch him. I heard there's this thing going on. People watch my videos. What? You've been watching my videos? I hope not. Yeah? I don't know. I think we need a background, and I think, no, I'm serious. Now this is, I think I have to host a talk show.
We can do that.
Yes.
Like to do a talk show. What?
Like call in?
Binyamin.
What if there are people doing edits of the Rabbi?
Can I be the one to be your guest? Wait, like a Q&A type talk show?
No, have you ever watched a talk show?
Yeah, but...
Like a Johnny Carson?
Can I get your guest?
So that I run the show, I bring people, I ask them questions. What?
I'll bring the people.
You bring the
guest.
he's the producer now?
Make me the producer. I'm telling you, it'll be a good show.
That would be sick.
Here's your host.
What?
And here's your host.
Oh, I have a whole music already picked.
Do you really?
Yes.
Okay, so can we talk?
Can we talk? Bubala, can we talk?
Oh, that should be what the name of the show is. Can we talk?
No. I already have a name.
What's the name?
The Guy Show.
That's fantastic. That's pretty good.
That's gold.
I'm not. It's my name. You can't call me that. You're not allowed to call me by my first name.
I think it might be taken though. I feel like there's a show like that.
Well, too bad. I'm the real deal.
Yeah.
What about talk? What the talk? Which
Anyway, I don't know how we got into this. Ariel, you have to help me. I have ADD. You have to keep me in. You're not here for the comedy. You're here to learn Torah. They're serious over there. We're a bunch of jokesters. So the Yetzer Hara Mamish does exactly what you just mentioned. That it's hard to keep it up. Just ask Shimmy. But the key is one day at a time. I'm going to give it a different analogy. And the analogy is working out. When you start working out, you have a goal in mind, right? You want to be Atlas, you want to be this, okay? But you're not. You're benching the bar by your, spot me. It's like, come on. It's only 45 pounds. Right? The bar is 45?
Yep.
I don't know in kilos.
20
I don't know. It's what?
20 kilos.
20 kilos is the bar?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
What? 20.4. It's always those European judges ruin the score. They nail the Americans. So, if you start thinking of where you want to be and how hard you're going to start working, you give up. You say, this is ridiculous. Everybody's putting on those big 45 plates, 2 plates on each side, and you're coming there with little bells, going 10. It's the way that I had a goal that I wanted to run a 5K. So in the beginning, I started running and I ran, less than a kilometer. Then another kilometer and another kilometer. And then I was at 4 for a while and I couldn't get to the 5. Then Baruch Hashem, I got to the 5. But it took a while. Same thing in learning. In this, you have to understand, yes, there are 4,192 Mishnayos. Correct, there are 2,711 dafs of Gemara in the Bavli. Correct. Tremendous amount. tremendous amount of material. But you're not going to do it in one sitting. Just start. So, what will happen, right? People start at Daf Yomi, they all get excited, brachas, and when do they drop? They go, I can't keep this up for 7.5 years. It doesn't matter for 7.5 years. Can you do it today? Good, then you did it today. Do another day. And what will happen on Thursday? We're going away, so just do it today. What will happen in the future? I don't know. Take it. Can you do it now? And this is a tool that you can use to overcome any challenge that you have. Focus on the right now. That's the way that you're going to defeat the Yetzer Hara. Can I guard my tongue forever? No. I stub my toe in the middle of the night. Woohoo! I'm a drunken sailor. But I can control it now. So, whether it's Shmirat Einayim. So I'm going to, I'll just keep, okay, good. You did something. Is it something you can't control forever? Okay, it's not about forever. Can you do it now? If you could do it now, great. Take it one step at a time. And bite-sized morsels. Keep it manageable. And the manageable part, the bite size, depends on your situation. Some people, 2 mishnayos a day is more than enough. Great. 2 mishnayos a day, add up. Some people say, I'm going to do 2 mishnayos and shachris, 2 mishnayos and ma'ariv. 2, that's it. That's amazing. You're doing 4 a day. 4 a day. I have a seder before shachris that I learned Mishnah Brura. And I have usually before shachris between 10 minutes to 20 minutes. Usually that's how early. Sometimes I have more, sometimes I have, but that's essentially. Okay. So you do 1 amud, a daf, whatever it is. I'm on volume 6 now. I don't even pay attention. I just sit, learn, and I move my bookmark from here to here. That's it, till the next day. The next day, move it one more, Laat. No pressure. And all of a sudden, in the Mishnah Brura, 6th volume, I'm in the 6th volume. I'm going to finish it, whatever. Does it take me a year? Let it take a year. But less than it doesn't matter. That's the idea of learning and adding laat. But the idea is that you want to continue your growth and success. And even if you have a dip, even if you have a bad day that you missed, it's not the end of the world. They're not going to come and take you to jail. They're not. So just start all over again. Right, Mike? Okay. Now, he says that the reward that we get in the Olam Haba, one is because we've earned it, to an extent. And the reason I say to an extent is because it's Hashem giving us the opportunities to do mitzvot. Okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We want to do Ma'ariv at like 6:45 and then at 7 o'clock to start. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I'm doing.
So you did 6:45?
That's what Rabbi Geffen told me. That's what Rabbi Geffen told me. Listen, I just work here. You want to cause trouble?
I'm not trying to cause trouble, trying to make it work.
So, one is that Kadosh Baruch Hu provides us opportunities to do mitzvot and to abstain from mitzvot. And therefore, when we obey Him or we chas v'shalom rebel, we get what we deserve. You're okay? Because I'm the only one in this room right now that is a doctor. I'm not a physician. I don't. But I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express once. I did perform, I don't know if I told you, I'm sure I told you the story. I did perform an operation to save a kid's life at the zoo.
Is it an EpiPen? No.
What? Heimlich maneuver. No. I needed to use medical tools. Wasn't a syringe. I could tell you the story if you want to hear it. What?
What's the medical tool?
Tweezers. What? You want to hear the story? But Seva heard it before. He doesn't. He's like, no, don't tell him that story, Rabbi. So I was at the zoo. This is a long time ago.
I still don't get it.
What?
Still don't get it.
You don't get it that I went to the zoo?
No. Go, tell the story.
What? Am I missing something? David,
Tell your story.
do you notice that he's a lot closer to you? What's going on? That's beautiful. What?
What do you mean by beautiful?
That it's nice that you're welcoming people into your personal space.
I've noticed that if he throws a punch, I'm a lot closer, so
So, I don't know what you're talking about. But I took my kids to the Omaha Dortley Zoo. It's considered one of the best zoos in the world. That's what they said. It's actually a very, very, very impressive zoo. So if you're in America and you get to Omaha, the zoo is worth it. And we had a yearly pass that you paid X amount of money. You can go, and we went almost, like the gorillas were like, what's up? You again? So they have something called the Desert Dome. Okay? It's a building which is a huge dome that it's all desert animals. What do they have in the desert?
Scorpions,
Cacti! So we went with a friend of mine with his kids, and I may have said to the kid, or may not, may or may not, there are two gears. I said, let's see if you can hug this cactus.
Oh my God. That was what happened.
And he did. And they were all over his hands. And he tried to get them, and they went into his mouth. And he was walking, crying and screaming, and it wasn't fun. And I knew that I needed to save this kid's life. It was an emergency. He couldn't eat, he couldn't drink. He was screaming his father was going to kill him. So we went to where the first aid, and they gave me tweezers like made out of plastic, and they weren't going to work. So I said, lady, I know you have tweezers in your purse because you pluck your eyebrows. Go. She was like, what? And give me your tweezers. She was offended, but she went and got them. And I removed the little, whatever they call them, the needles, from his tongue first. The thorns from his tongue, and then from his lips, and then from his hands. And he lived happily ever after.
But you caused it.
I did not cause
Did they
it.
ever invite you over ever again?
Yes. But first I said, I'm not sure I said it. I may or may not. I don't know.
You know you said it.
No, I have a midas ha'emes. If I thought I did, I would say. But I'm not sure.
Where's the suffix? I don't get it.
I'm not sure I said it.
When you thought you may have said something you would.
I may or may not. Arya Yitzchak, what are you nodding no? You don't believe the story? So then what are you going like this for? I think I said it, but I'm not sure. There's a tzad of, I guess in Olam Haba we'll find out. But I thought that kid was smarter than that. Like, what are you hugging a cactus for? So anyway, I did perform an operation, and when I saw you messing around with your finger, I was ready to step in. No operation. I didn't use the word surgery. Okay, Dan. How are you? I didn't ask you when this class is over. He trusts his phone. Hey.
My watch isn't good enough.
Carry the one.
17 minutes.
How much?
17 minutes.
17 minutes.
Yeah.
So could you tell me when it's over?
Yeah, sure.
Just stand and then I'll know it's done.
He'll stand like a soldier.
Okay. So Jack, we continue in the text. So one is that when we do a good act, like me saving this kid. Listen, you might think, wait a second. You might think that I did not save his life. But he would not have survived with those needles or thorns in his hands and mouth until this age. If not, somebody would. Okay, that's for sure. And I eased his suffering. Correct?
You caused it.
I did not cause this. This is not even groma. Groma is if I pushed him in. This isn't. Let's say on the tzad that I said, "Hey kid, hug the cactus." Hello.
He's a katan now.
What? He's what? He has no das? He was at a ripe old age. Oh, I think he was around 10 years old.
Okay, that's
Or maybe 8. No. He was older than that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he was older than that. Because my kids were 8 years old. And he was older than that. So when you tell a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old to hug cactus and he does, he deserves to be thrown into a few cacti.
No.
What?
No.
You need a Kleenex. Kleenex. Yes, Kleenex is a brand. Yeah. Next thing you want a Xerox stuff, and then we get sued. So if you do a good ma'aseh, you get rewarded. You get rewarded in Shemayim. Right? Somebody went out and brought me a beautiful bottle of wine for the siyum. That the person is going to get rewarded in Olam Haba. For sure. If, on the other hand, you do something that you shouldn't do, then, like, for example, let's say the rabbi wants to sit and have lunch, and he gets peppered and pelted with questions.
Good questions?
No? None of them were good. None of them were good. Not only that, I get a voicemail last night. This is the voicemail. Hello, Rabbi. I'm whispering because people who are asleep right now. If you cut a lemon with a knife, is the knife tummy? I didn't even. I looked. I remember. I looked at it. I was like, I'm not into this. But the other reason we get rewarded, says the Chovos Halevavos, he says, والسبب الثاني تفضلا من الله تعالى وجودا منه وأحسنا كقوله ולך השם חסד כי אתה תשלם לאיש כמעשהו. He says the second reason is the generosity and goodness and chesed from Hashem, because it says chesed is to you because you pay, you reward every person according to their actions. Did you hear that? That was your question. That's a pasuk in Tehillim. You want to write it down? Not on the siddur though.
How Allah Ta'ala is translated?
Allah Ta'ala, God the Exalted. What does that mean? Translated.
I mean, interpreted into Hebrew.
But I'm telling you,
English.
this is Hebrew and Arabic.
No, I was wondering the word Ta'ala, how it's.
Ta'ala means exalted. It'ale. So it's Tehillim Pasuk, it's chapter 62, verse 13. The Pasuk says, you reward each person according to his own actions. Letov, right? If he did well, he's going to get rewarded. If he didn't, he's going to get on the tush. What? It's not quite what?
On the point of the question, because it's saying based on their actions, but not their actions based on their abilities. Meaning
What's the
different
wink for?
people-
Abilities. I think, what's the wink for? Okay, I got it. I'm telling you, when I'm old and in the old age home, I'll watch these videos and laugh. I understand.
Divide in the-
I think so. Kamas has according to his own actions, not as according to the actions. His own actions. Sounds like it's his madrega. If you look at the mefarshim there, maybe it'll give you a little bit more. But that seems to be like an issue for you.
I mean, it got me curious.
Okay. So, listen, I think that one of the most healthiest and something that needs to be cultivated is curiosity to search our holy texts for different topics. Absolutely. I have this idea, let's go look, let's see what I can find. And all sorts of things come up. I discover things that I didn't know. What's wrong, Yuda? What? What are you cracking up behind the camera? What? Is there something on my nose that...
I feel like I know you pretty well.
What?
I was like imagining something you would say, and then my response, you would say something back, and I was like, "That's so funny what you say." That's some serious sarcasm.
That is unbelievable.
You had a whole conversation with yourself. I think he has to go to Hollywood.
No, he needs to go to a padded room with his white jacket and talk to somebody. I'm a lot funnier in your mind than I am in reality. All right, let's keep going, gentlemen. He says something very, very deep. And maybe it's worth to concentrate a little bit. He says that the actions that we do, the mitzvot, even if they were as numerous as the sand on the beach, is that something you can count?
No.
They will not be sufficient compared to the chesed or goodness that Hashem is doing for you in this world. Hashem gives us so much in this world. So much. Some things that are very simple. Sometimes I take into account of all the things that I have to start thanking Hashem. And I start from the minute I wake up. I think sort of, okay, so what? Oh, I have a place where I could put my feet down on the floor and they're not full of water. Like imagine if you lived in a water world. You could never get off the bed. I'm safe. I'm not in some chas v'shalom, like our brothers and sisters in Gaza, in some hole under the ground, that they are in clear and present danger every minute. I have clothes to wear, and nice clothes. That Hashem gave me tefillin and talis, that I could wear it and go to shul. That I have a shul close to my house. That He gives me the strength to wake up and daven nets. It's not a given. That I have a bus right across the streets to come to Yerushalayim. And He gave me the will to sit and learn. Like I don't waste time on the bus. I get on the bus, pull out my tablet, put on Gemara, and that's it. So, I'm not taking that for granted. That's a bracha that Hashem gave me. I get to come to Ohr Somayach. I get to teach Torah. I can never repay HaKadosh Baruch Hu for that chesed. Never. He gives me food. Because you have to remember, when I leave my house, I'm not in control of what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. It's like going into the airport. You enter the airport, you have no idea. You're going to make it, not going to make it. You're going to stuff, your suitcase is going to make it, not going to. So if you take into account in your own day, how much chesed Hashem is doing for you. He gave you good friends. And they're really good guys in Mechina. Right, Dan?
Yes.
They're really good guys.
I like Yehuda.
Yeah, he is special. He's mamish special. That's true. But he's not the only one. I've run Mechina, for about, 10 years now. And there were times where we had lots of things to worry about. Right, Seva? Yeah.
Like what?
We're on camera. That's 1 and 2. I don't want to give you suggestions.
I heard Teva built a lot of the stuff.
I'm sorry?
That he built a lot
Who's
of
he?
Teva.
Seva.
Oh man.
Seva. Well, Seva and Moshe Milas really put tremendous amount of resources, which means money, time, labor, into making this beautiful Beis Medrash and entrance, and they did an amazing job. And they worked at night because classes were here. They would work Thursdays, Fridays. They had to deal with all sorts of nonsense, and there were other people who were helping them, and some of them helped them in the wrong way that they had to undo, whatever. It was a big project, and but the point is that you have to appreciate what Hashem has done for each and every one of us. Even you. You don't have to take care of the donkeys anymore. Right? Your head Pidyon Ben. That's it. So I want to end with a comment. So David, I thought that today was your last day with us, no?
I wasn't here this morning, but I came for this year.
But when are you leaving?
I'm leaving Sunday.
So I want to publicly give you a bracha that Be'ezer Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu should bless you and let you succeed in whatever you want to pursue. It was a pleasure to have you part of the Mechina, even part-time. It was wonderful to see it, inspiring to see a young man who is serious, who was motivated to learn Torah, that wanted to come close to Hashem. And it was very, very nice, very warm to have you here. And please consider this your home, and that whenever you want to come back, you're more than welcome to. We'll be happy to have you. And with that, we'll stop this year.